So we're live there. We're live here. And we are live from New York City. I don't know why I'm supporting this stuff is so bad, but it is a special day. It's not very often. And right now, we are in the same room in our headquarters and our showroom at Tile Bar USA, worldwide, all over the world, whatever it is. But it is in New York City, and we're so excited to be here. John,
what's up, Craig? How you doing? So Craig is going through puberty, and his voice is changing. So,
hey, John, I told you earlier, all the last 2 weeks, my wife and my son have been sick, and I've been like, I beat it. I got on the plane this morning, and I was like, something doesn't feel right. So apologize for my voice. Hey, TikTok, I see you there. So we got John. You don't normally see him, and so find the Tile channel, and we're going to get him up to speed. But if you're watching live tonight, we're excited. It is the Tile Happy Hour. This is where we talk about tile, anything and everything, all the time. We love it, and you've stumbled on to the channel wherever you're watching, whether it's TikTok, LinkedIn, X, Facebook. Snail mail, maybe you got a VCR tape. I don't know, but we're happy you're here. And if you're here, tell us where you are. I've got a computer down here. I can see you sort of. It's a different setup, and it's all new. And who knows if it's going to work, because we're running completely on battery power. So exactly. Lord be with us. Yeah. But John, I'm happy to be in New York. I'm excited about a class tomorrow that I'm teaching about glass tile.
Yeah, I'm excited. Glad to join you tomorrow. And we're here in New York. And it's really exciting to have you. We've only done this show together once, I believe.
Correct.
In Coral Gables, Florida. And that was a really great event. So we were able to do a live broadcast of the Tile Happy Hour. Welcome to the Tile Happy Hour. Welcome to all our guests, our repeat visitors, and people just stumbled across us because
I made a really cool thumbnail about 30 minutes ago.
Yeah, exactly. So we did that. So we'd like to know where you are watching from. Town, city, room, wherever you are, let us know.
Penitentiary,
exactly.
Whatever.
Yeah, if you're in a penitentiary, send us some letters. We'll be a pen pal, and we'll be glad to talk with you.
We got plenty of extra time on our hands. But no, and if you're not watching live, because we do know most of our views come after, please still leave us a comment. We love to read our comments. I was telling John today that the comments have started really kind of rolling in, people asking questions, and I've been able to answer some and actually give some advice, so if you're watching on a replay or a rewind, hey, still send us a comment, and we'll get back to you.
You know what, Craig, that's one of the reasons we do this show, and it's how we come to do the show, because we're really into the industry, really into the products. We really want to elevate the industry. Yeah. We want to help our customers. We want to help people who are not our customers. We just want the whole industry to be successful. And Craig and I have always chatted offline, talking about just things in the industry. And we said, hey, this should be a pod. We're talking for an hour on the phone together. And we would probe each other and talk and ask questions. And it turns into, let's do a podcast. And that's what we're doing. So we're here to kind of educate you, to build a community, have some camaraderie, have some information that hopefully you'll ultimately see as valuable to you now or in the future with someone that you know. If you do know someone who's into tile, let them know about the Tile Happy Hour. And the exciting thing, Greg, is to be here physically because we have tile that we can touch.
Everywhere. You can't see around us, but there's tile everywhere. Before we get started, John, you know I'm teaching tomorrow on glass tile, but I brought you a gift.
Oh, you bought me a gift.
Yeah.
Did I know
And
that?
I even wrapped it in
Masking tape.
masking tape. My official tile bar box. So I figured I'd let you open it live.
All right. I do not know what's in here. So because of that, I'm going to open it away from me.
That's good.
Snake or something. So cool graphic. Greg Cahoon, widely known graphic. Laticrete is a strong support.
Great sponsor of ours. And
Oh, wow.
John's helping me out tomorrow with the podcast. So I figured if you're going to help out, you deserve at least some cool swag. And so we got that.
Yeah. So wow. The winter is here. Coming
That's
up
right.
soon. In a couple of weeks.
Here.
Right?
Yeah.
So I've got my hat. Got a really cool T-shirt. I'm going to hold that up.
Yeah. Read the back of it, John.
All right. It says, I like big notch trowels and I cannot lie.
Yeah.
All right. So that's really cool. And here's a bottle of cotton in a jar.
That's right.
So, Bob, thank you very much. I
You're welcome.
appreciate that. That is cool.
You're welcome. Thanks for helping out tomorrow. And that's what I do. If you don't know what I do day in and day out, I spend my time kind of teaching, and not only to our customers and clients, but our customer service and train, just so we can know and hopefully better help you with your install, but also anybody out there. So tomorrow I'm going to class in New York for our team. It will be kind of live broadcast, and then we're going to edit it down, and it will soon be on the website.
Right. Well, that's cool. So we're in our headquarters, actually, which is separate aside from our showroom, but there is a private showroom here. And there's probably 50 some odd people who are actually working in this facility. But we have people who work in this facility who work in a New York City showroom, New Jersey showroom, other showroom, and plus also remotely throughout the country and throughout the world. We do have people in other countries.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah. And I'm actually in a month going to work with our customer service team in Panama.
Well, that's phenomenal. Yeah, we have a phenomenal Panamanian. Is that the word?
Panamanian, I think is the right word.
And crew, and they're really, really great communicators. They're very passionate about what they do. And if you're watching from our team, welcome to our team. So we've had a lot of new people lately.
Yeah, we have. And we want to make sure everybody's at tip top and continue education, and that's what we're investing in, that so that you have the best information out there available to you for your installation, for your design, and whatever you want to do in the finished world. We can't even say just tile anymore.
Right.
We've got all sorts of finishes and everything.
We do have a lot of products. So tomorrow's session, tell us more about what you do.
Yeah, tomorrow is sponsored by Oceanside Glass, which is a great partner of ours. But glass tile is unique, and glass tile takes some special skills to install correctly. So what we're going to do is kind of go through some of the pitfalls and some of the technique of how to install glass tile correctly. You know, glass tile is impervious and it cracks and you can see through it. So there's just a lot of different nuances to it. So the team and I, we're going to talk through those, and we're actually going to set some glass tile tomorrow, because nothing is more concreted in your brain is when you actually do it. And when you do it, you can visualize it. And then when somebody calls in or has a question, you can say, hey, I've done that before. Here's how I did it.
You know, you can't see, but when I came here earlier, I saw Craig. He flew in today to New York from his hometown, and he completely has taken over the huge lunchroom. And it has tables filled with product, with glass, with thin set, and all sorts of hands-on. Because we all know that if someone teaches you something and you hear it, that's good. But when you actually can apply it, that's like worth 100 times. Yeah,
Absolutely.
once you do it, and then I hear that if you teach somebody, that's when you really remember it. So how that works is he's talking to our customer service team, he's talking to our internal sales team, and the internal sales team is going to take that information. They're going to hands-on work with it. Great. They're not going to leave it there. Tomorrow or next week or a month from now, they're going to get a phone call. They're You're going to get an email. Hey, what about this? What about? And they're going to be like, oh, you know what? With class tile, if you have a tile that's opaque, or we have a tile that's translucent, we have a tile that's paper face mounted, or it's netting on the back. And they'll recall your session tomorrow, 3 separate sessions. And once they hit that, then your job is done.
Yeah.
You know, you really got them to the point where now they're teaching someone else, let it be your customer or maybe another colleague.
Absolutely. And we don't do it for just class tile. We do that for everything. And soon there's a learning center coming, and I'm so excited about it that anybody in the world can go and learn more about the things we love, the tile industry. So we're excited about that.
Talking about the things we love, what we're going to do tonight is take the opportunity that we have to hands-on, like show you some things that are really interesting, some different categories of product that we carry, maybe comment on it, describe it, to give you a little insight into what we could see here personally live, and then you can kind of get a better idea of what we handle, and more importantly, if you see something that we talk about and we show you, we can comment, we can help you if you have a question. And I've been getting a lot of messages like privately through social media. Hey, John, I have a question about this, I have a question about that. And that's all we need. We're really happy seeing that, and we'd love to talk to you. And we're talking about products. So one of the first things we want to talk about are like mosaics. Mosaics are like so big. And one of the reasons it's really dear to our heart, because our company was founded as providing mosaics only originally when it started. And we've taken it to a whole other level. We're going to show you tonight some mosaics that are nothing like when we originally started. They're a little more elevated. And the first thing I want to show you is a marble it's a mosaic. And as you see here, there's 3 different color marbles. And they're kind of put on a sheet, but in this pattern that is really nice. There's 3 different colors here. They're probably not water jet. They're probably straight cut on a machine. And what do you think of that pattern? Does that appeal to you?
I love the 3D pattern. It kind of makes my head hurt sometimes.
Yeah.
But the 3D pattern it's classic.
Yeah.
And this is kind of some classic stone colors. It is a stone, so you got to treat it like a stone. So once installed, sealer, proper maintenance. But I don't think this small palette does it justice. I think seeing it in a big area would really be a nice addition to it.
Well, I'm curious what people see online, because this is like one of those tests. Do you see a cube coming out? Do you see a cube going in? Like this is a floor and these are walls, or you see a cube coming out?
I always think of Cubert.
Okay.
Now, people that are in the internet now don't know what Cubert is, but go do a little research on Cubert, and it was on the Atari, and it was.
Yeah. And of course, you can just see triangles. Just 3 triangles, sitting next to each other, but you don't see that, do you?
No.
So
I don't see triangles. I don't know if John passed geometry. Because those were rhombuses, not triangles.
I don't know about that. We'll see. So our next product here.
All right, Vanna.
Is a lot more elevated.
Oh, yeah.
Why? Because the way it's made, and also what it's made out of. Before we just saw marble.
Mm-hmm.
What do you see here?
This is onyx.
Yeah. So it's a combination of 2 different marbles, but the majority of it is onyx, and this is the darker. Looks like a marble. But how is this done? This is not a mosaic, meaning there's little chips. But look at these curves. I mean, if this was carpet, that would be very hard to make.
And you can't see it online, but these are solid pieces. They're not 1 or 5/8 inch pieces. They're solid pieces. Now, John, I'm asking you this real because I'm not sure I know the answer. Is onyx considered a marble?
No.
It's a whole separate.
Onyx is onyx, marble is marble, travertine is travertine, granite is granite.
Okay.
Granite is granite, and yes, onyx is its own category. You could say that it looks very much like marble. Because it has, multiple colors, can be polished highly, and has veining typically.
Gotcha.
But there are characteristics that make it a little more unique. They can be partially translucent.
Yeah, I mean, if you've been in a bar before, which
Who
hasn't? You've seen those onyx tops that are underlit. I mean,
I think our biggest fan base is the people who just left the bar.
Yes. And they're trying to find their Uber app, and they found us. But that's a cool. Those water jet stone patterns are really unique. The cool thing about them is you can have this floor that looks like a custom made pattern, and you can buy it in a sheet, put it together, and it looks amazing.
So that's probably one of the most costly things we're showing you here, because elevated material onyx is almost a can't be semi-precious stone or close to it, and water jet technology, which is a technology which we talked about before in our show, but it's a technique that could cut something to like 60, could cut steel like to the 64th of an inch,
Right.
very accurately. And they use that technology here. They have to piece things together. So it's very, the mechanical part is very costly to implement, but they also have to hand assemble those pieces too.
Right.
So it's a lot. And this is a little more similar to the first thing we showed you, but because there's marble pieces, this is a parallelogram. What is that?
We'll call it a polygon.
Polygon. Okay.
No, it's a trapezoid.
The trapezoid. Yeah, it's a trapezoid. So, but there's an added element. What do you see there?
Well, it's metal.
So,
It's metal. So you didn't know that you're going to get a math lesson.
right. And we don't recommend taking this information and using it in real life, because it can be wrong when we're talking about math.
Correct.
Yeah.
But when we're talking about tile, we know what we're talking about. So this is one of the several different water jet patterns that have this brass inlays.
We do.
It really adds a bit of upscaleness to what you're doing.
It's true. Now, you mentioned water jet. This may or may not be cut with water jet. This is all straight cuts. So sometimes you use water jet technology to do straight cuts because they're easy, but there's a cost of doing it.
Yeah.
So depending on which factory and how much they're produced as far as volume, it may or may not employ water jet technology. But this brass strip, and there's two ways of using a brass. The brass could be laminated on top of a porcelain or a stone, so it can only be used on the wall.
Mm-hmm.
But some of our brass inlays are throughout. They're like the same thickness of the mosaic of the tile, and that you can use on the floor. The reason for that is why.
Because they said so.
Yeah. So the reason they said so is, well, if this metal is laminated to a piece of porcelain or stone, it's fine. But there's a very small chance, 5%, 10% chance, maybe, over time, it could delaminate. And if the surface metal delaminates from the bottom, it could create like a chalked point. So it's really a precaution, because when we introduced these products that do have the metal laminated, we did recommend it for the floor, but we had like one issue here or there. We said it's not. We want to be extra cautious.
Well, that's good. That's good. Yeah, those water jet patterns. When you think of a water jet machine, it's huge. It takes up a whole garage bay. And my old company used to have one. We used to do all sorts of work in it. And you can draw anything you want on a computer and load it into this machine and cut it out of it. And so the designs are endless. But the machine, I mean, 20 years ago, it was $1 million. I'm not sure. They may be cheaper now. They may be
half a million, maybe.
Yeah. I don't know.
You know what? Water jet. And I thought when it first came out, water jet was like just a tile industry thing, but every industry is
Right.
If you're a sign maker, you may cut your signs, your plastic, or if you're working in steel, you can cut steel with it, and everything in between.
And I think a lot of the metal industry has moved to those lasers.
Yes.
But in stone, I don't think
No,
I don't think that works.
So here's an example of another product that is water jet because it has these curves. But there's another material. What do you think that material is, Craig? Very hard test here.
Yeah,
This is kindergarten.
Tough one. Well, it's a mirrored glass.
Yeah, and it's actually a particular type of antique mirrored glass.
Right.
So if you see here, there's marble cut on a curve, and the glass actually mirrors it also, pardon the pun, mirrors the pattern, antique mirror. So because of that, it cannot be used on the floor because the mirror is not.
Or, I learned something the other day. Can't be used in a shower.
So the reason it can't be used in the shower is a regular traditional mirror has a backing on it, and that backing is fine. But if you scratch the back of that, or it becomes deteriorates to some degree, it could.
And moisture can deteriorate.
Right, so moisture could deteriorate a mirror. You probably see mirrors in a bathroom that's been around forever, and around the edges, sometimes you get this like antiquing. Well, the funny thing is, this is deliberately antique. So it gives it the look that it has become somewhat consistent, and it stays that.
Yeah.
Where if you put this in a shower, it could deteriorate in a different area. So you have to really be careful how you use it.
Yeah.
But I think the way you said it, you may be able to use it in a shower. You think?
I don't think I said yes, and then somebody above me said
Right. Okay. So in those scenarios, Craig always loses.
that's right.
So
So that's when I learned. I asked the question. I said, "Why?" And they're like, "Well, some backings, and it may not be all mirrors. Some backings deteriorate in when they're moisture. But you know what? If you bought it, you can use it wherever you want to."
yeah. Well, the thing is, that's a testament to a reputable company.
Mm.
Some companies will say, "Hey, 90% of the time you won't have a problem with it. We're going to sell it. Go to our website. It's going to say, yeah, sure, you can use this for the floor and shopping." But a company like Tilemar, for example, is a little more cautious and will kind of give you the worst case scenario and say, look, if there's 10% of chance of maybe a problem, let's not recommend it. There are a lot of times I'm working with a client and they're looking, say, at a ceramic tile that's meant for the wall. And I would say, you know what? If this was in my bathroom, a residential bathroom, I would be okay using this. It's not off the street. I don't have sand coming in. I'm not coming in with work boots. It's on the second floor. So there are scenarios where we say, this is a ceramic tile only for a wall. But I would use it on the floor. But we can't just blanketly tell the whole world yes. So
Yeah, we got to qualify some things.
So another thing that we have, and this is similar theme, but
A little different material.
so there's different materials. So there's a marble, but what you may or may not be able to see here. Yeah, we can actually do that.
Yeah. You keep talking.
So you see little chiclets. Those are like
Chiclets.
not even 3/8 of an inch, right?
Yeah, they're small.
They're really like 1/4 inch cut chiclets. Those have to be cut. I don't know how we cut those, but
I think you cut them with like nippers.
yeah. So those are kind of hand nipped, right? So they're not 100% square.
Yeah.
So the black is water jet, and then the mosaic is hand set into a sheet.
Yeah.
That's pretty labor intensive.
I would say so. You got a lot of people nipping those things and then having to set them into a form so it looks good and it's consistent.
So you know what? How about we show people first, and I'll put it back there.
Okay, sure.
Yeah. So this is really cool. This is mother of pearl, and it's a sheet. Now, mother of pearl is super thin.
Very
So only for walls. And here's a question: do you know what our suggestion for showers are?
I have been told it can be used in a shower.
So,
But I, if you know me long enough, you've listened to me talk long enough. I don't like stone at all in a shower. That's just me, and I know that my personal preferences don't have to be yours. But the maintenance, in my opinion, goes beyond. I'm lazy. I don't want to clean my shower.
right. Yeah. So yeah, if you wanted to just be very, very blunt, you just use a porcelain in your shower, no maintenance, nothing to worry about.
Hose it down while you're showering, and then you done.
But there are things about a natural marble that you just can't get. We have beautiful porcelain that looks just like beautiful marble, but it's still not marble. And sometimes you want those imperfections. You want those varieties that are endless. And sometimes it's the snob factor, right? You have the multi-million-dollar.
Not where I live.
No, okay. So so when you're putting it in like an outhouse,
Yeah, that's
porcelain, right?
Exactly.
So there is that factor where you have a home where you really want to use elevated materials because you're happy with it, right? If you have the budget and you want to wear a nice jacket, maybe it won't be pleather, maybe it'll be real leather, right? You can argue that pleather is better, plastic is better, or vinyl is better, but leather is leather, and it has a certain characteristic to it, and you can tell. So the snob factor, I'm kidding, but I'm not kidding.
But this is beautiful. This is beautiful. And we're trying not to break anything tonight because we want to work tomorrow.
We don't want our colleagues working tomorrow and say, who broke all the tile last night? Here's another. This is called stonework. So this is a huge tile with an incredible profile.
Look at that TikTok.
12 by 24.
I think this is a paver for, I don't know.
It's amazing.
It won't even.
So overall, it looks like it's 3/4 of an inch thick.
Yeah, it's very thick.
On the
It's
high
heavy.
part, and So create great panels for the walls, put a nice chair rail on top. Comes in a black also, really, really super, super nice.
That's cool. I mean, that's almost like a cut the size is what we used to call it back in the day, when it's like you got your blocks and you're making stuff out of stone.
Yeah, so let's go to other material, the ceramic tile. So this is made in Spain, a ceramic tile. It's kind of meant to look like a handmade zero tile, sort of. And you'll see that it has a lot of imperfections. This and this are the same dialite because it's intended to be that way. If this was a different series, this would be like totally not acceptable dialite range. But here you pay extra for the dialite. That's the shading
for the handmade.
Exactly.
Now the great thing we talk about handmade a lot when I'm talking to our team, and that is because a lot of handmade tile, you can see here, the grout joints aren't consistent. And that's done because you have the handmade look. But if you want a consistent joint, you may have to make it a little larger than specified. Sometimes owners and architects, they want a very thin joint, and you can't set this with a 1/16 of an inch and expect it to look consistent. It is a handmade tile. It's going to look handmade, and you need to install it like that.
Absolutely. So here's another ceramic tile. What's cool about this is it has a cool shape, a picket shape. It's really a hexagon, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But it's an elongated hexagon for obvious reasons. And it also has,
I think that's called picket, isn't it?
I think the series is called picket, and you can see here.
Oh, it's 3D.
In TikTok land, and here in X Facebook. Craig's going to give you a little demonstration there.
So you can see that it's not flat, which if you've run into some issues with 3D tile, I just happy to tell you I just finished shooting a video about some
outlets,
about outlet covers, how to work around those, how to work around plumbing stuff, and that'll be coming out soon to hopefully help you answer some of those questions and maybe but
pre-selling tickets to that event.
I just taking donations.
That's it.
So you just I'll put my Venmo up and you just make donations.
Exactly. So now look at this. This is a ceramic tile, 2 by 20 inches, I believe this is.
Yeah.
Beautiful, beautiful product. And you can see the shimmer in the tile. You can see the undulation in the glaze. You can see the irregular edges. So we talked often about, porcelain tile. It's so adorable, right? Mm-hmm. So why don't we just make this in porcelain?
Ceramic's cheaper.
No, that's not the.
That's not correct.
Okay. So this is more money than most of our porcelain. So the reason it is first, it's a high quality factory, but the glazes, you cannot get this color, the shading, what we call a fume, the shading or cloudy effect. You cannot get the undulation in a porcelain. It's just fired differently. Even though it's all clay, water, and fires and pigments, it really is different. So there's a lot more creativity. So if somebody comes around, they have the biggest budget in the world, and they're like, I like this, but I want it in porcelain because I'm rich and I have all the. You can't have it. It's not made.
Right. Well, the good thing is when you have a ceramic tile that's got a really nice glaze on it, other than the breaking strength, which once you get it installed doesn't matter, there's no difference in maintenance. Right. The glaze is non-pervious. So.
Exactly. And when it's on a wall, it has no bearing whatsoever.
Right. Unless you're fighting.
Yeah, exactly.
But then we don't fight in tile work.
No, we don't. So here's a new series that's really cool. I'll hold one of them.
And once again, it's a popular 3D finish on it. It's got a high glaze on it. The good thing about this, John, is a lot of these 3D finishes have a matte glaze, and I can just see grout getting stuck in there. But this is pretty shallow. I don't think you're going to have that issue this time.
That's true. But even if it was a matte finish, contrary to common sense, you would think a matte is like porous, right? That absorbs. Right. Or something shiny is easier to clean. You could say it's easier to clean sometimes because the effort maybe is a little less. Because if something's shiny, your sponge or your rag or whatever can smooth over it,
Right.
grind over it quicker. If something is rough, dirt could stick to it, but you just with a little effort you can get it off. If it's not porous, correct. If it's a marble, so if you have a marble that's polished and you put some kind of contaminant on the surface, and if you had a marble that's rough, like sandblasted, and put that same contaminant, it's gonna grab to that stone.
Oh, sure.
You know. And speaking of that, Craig has the answers. If you have stains, if you have etching, if you have anything, he'll tell you what you can
And can't
do.
And unfortunately, when you have, I mean, I had a call earlier today. It was actually about terrazzo tile, which is very similar in maintenance to stone tile. And it had been stained by some really high-end grout. And unfortunately, there's not much you can do about it to save it. You gotta prep when you have a porous tile, whether it's a cement tile, terrazzo tile, or stone tile. You've got to do your due diligence up front. You've got to use a grout release. You got to pre-seal it. What is this? Oh, I know what this is. This is the #1 selling tile.
So this is the Kenridge ribbon maple. We stock this in boatloads, literally.
That's right. Yes.
24 by 48, quite big, quite heavy, kind of like a timber look, like a wood timber look.
Yeah. It reminds me of like a blonde teak.
Yeah. So originally we
in North Carolina we play it.
yeah
It's an instrument.
yeah Craig's family reunion.
Yeah, that's right.
So originally came in this color and gray and became such a hot seller. We said, wouldn't this be nice in a white? And now we have a white. What do you think you would want if you had a white? What would contrast white really well?
I mean, the contrast to white is black.
Right. So we added black. So we have a white and a black. The white is a warm white. It's not a milk white. Because we want to give it like a wood effect, sort of. It's not as contemporary. It's a contemporary version maybe of a wood. So we have maple. We have the gray. We have the white, which is off white, and we have a black. Phenomenal. Now, what's interesting is, because it is grooves, you would think it's not good for the floor, but I would use this in my bathroom floor. Would you? Yeah. Because it's kind of like putting teak on your floor or wood on your floor. You'd have to figure out how to do it, but you don't want to walk in there with heels or anything like that, I guess, because somebody could trip. But I'm thinking like a shower floor with a linear drain, and you have the grooves drain into the drain, and it's kind of like you ever see they sell these bath mats that are like wood.
Yeah.
So as you see, Craig and I can barely hold this. That's have to get to the gym.
With that tile, I mean, we get questions about it a lot just because we sell so much of it. But people are putting it in steam rooms, on ceilings. I know that we've had some in shower floors, and it's a great looking tile. It's wonderful.
It really is. So
I tried to get some for my bar, sold out, but that was 2 years ago. We're not sold out anymore.
yeah. So marble is a really great thing in our industry, right? We love marble. We like the actual stone, but something interesting about this is it's not marble. It's actually porcelain.
Yeah.
So that's the one nice thing about the technology. We can come, and each piece of this tile does not look the same. So you don't want it to look like a cookie cutter or linoleum floor.
That just kind of was the issue 15 years ago.
Right.
There was only 1 or 2 different patterns, but now they're endless because of the technology.
Right. Well, that's why it's become more acceptable in high-end applications.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to walk in and see, like, you used to be able to see a piece of ceramic tile that looked like marble. One tile, 12 by 12, with a vein in the corner. Oh, that's pretty nice. Then you have 385 of them in your 385 square foot room, and the vein is in the corner, and it looks
everyone.
pokey.
Yeah, that's right.
So there's a lot of range in this. We call them, you know what the word we use? How many different impressions there are?
Unlimited.
That's wrong. So you probably when I say it, you're gonna know faces.
Unlimited face.
So when we talk to a factory, say in Italy, and we're talking about what's the absorbency of the tile, what's the strength of the tile, all the different characteristics. One of the things we'll ask them, how many faces does it have?
Oh, okay.
And this may have 20 different faces, meaning the veining is 20 different types of veins, but also when it's manufactured, sometimes the vein is even placed at a different location. So it's 20 times multiple
Different
orientations.
orientations.
Yeah. So that's pretty cool. So if you want something really economical, very durable, porcelain, but a high-end porcelain, because we talked about this on shows. There are a lot of stores that sell product that it's like if you go to a store and you just buy meat, right? Versus USDA prime, prime rib, filet mignon. So if you go to a store, sometimes these stores that are big and boxy, they have a product that says porcelain on the box, and that's the only thing it has going for them is the name porcelain, because it met the bare minimum test of porcelain. And what is that test?
Well, porcelain is the water absorbency. That's porcelain, as we've talked about before, is a ceramic tile, and what differentiates it from other ceramic tiles is how much water it absorbs. It's got to be less than 0.5%.
Right. So if you think through a little, but people want to know how strong it is. I don't care for that moment how absorbent it is, but it's an indication of if it doesn't have much porosity, it probably means it's not many pores for water to get in. And if there are not that many pores for water to get in, it's probably indicating that it's harder, it's denser. So a sponge will soak up a lot of water because it has a lot of holes in it, and a piece of wood doesn't soak up as much water because it is more dense. It doesn't have any pores, so therefore the wood is harder. And you compare the wood to a porcelain, same size piece of wood, same size porcelain, put it on the sink faucet, see how much water it absorbs. Hey, guess what? The porcelain's absorbing less. So why is that important? Because it's just telling you there's less pores, it's more dense, and that means stronger. Yeah. So that's pretty interesting way of
Absolutely.
So hottest category is terrazzo. We are killing it here at Tile Bar, and the whole industry is hot for terrazzo. This is real terrazzo. What is terrazzo made of?
Terrazzo, good question, John. There's two types of terrazzo: cement terrazzo and resin terrazzo. And all that means is what base it is mixed in. Hundreds of years ago, terrazzo came in a gray base and a white base because that's what color Portland cement was. And then you just threw your rocks in there, which are normally marble chips. So when you have your white base with your marble chips, you get that. And then you have your gray base with your marble chips, and you get that look. Well, then came resin terrazzo, which means you could get any color under the rainbow in the base color. So if you want to match your favorite sports team, you can get it red for the Wolfpack, Go Pack, with white chips or whatever. So that is the basics of terrazzo. Terrazzo historically was all mixed on site and poured in place. Well, then they started mixing it, pouring it into molds and cutting it into tiles to give it a little different things. And so we have several different terrazzos that are actual terrazzos, but we also have some porcelain tiles that mimic terrazzo, which are great.
Yeah, so our biggest category, one of our biggest categories is terrazzo look. And when we say terrazzo look, we mean real terrazzo, and we also mean porcelain terrazzo. And they're both great options. There's great reasons to use them both. The natural terrazzo, the reason to do is the same way with the marble. It's just natural, and people like to have the leather couch versus the vinyl couch, and they both look good. The terrazzo is a little softer, so if you have a rock on your foot, it's possible, like in a work boot, it's possible you could scuff it, or if you don't seal it properly, you could stain it maybe,
I always tell our team is to treat natural terrazzo like stone.
Yeah, and it is mostly stone, right?
It is mostly stone, and when you have a cement terrazzo, then that's really different.
Right. But some of our factories do have a process. Some of the factories do have a process where we actually are treating them with the cement itself has some not as absorbent.
Some of them do a pre-seal treatment.
Yeah,
on them,
but those your suggestion still sticks. You don't want to do it. You just do it. You seal it. It's very easy. Sealing is just applying a clear liquid, wiping it on, wiping it off, and we do recommend you sealing the ground while you're at it. Yeah. So if you're using a real terrazzo tile, a lot of our terrazzos are 16 by 16. They're So 24 by 24 is probably our two most popular sizes. And on a special order basis for projects, we do get terrazzo slabs, coordinating slabs. And then we do the porcelain. So we have porcelains that are 24s. We have hexagon porcelains that look like terrazzo, really cool. And some of those look exactly like terrazzo, and some of them we can make some funky colors because porcelains. You could probably come up with more colors in a man-made product than terrazzo.
Well, and unless it's resin terrazzo.
That's very true. So we talked about the Kenridge before. We got to 24 by 48.
Yeah.
There's another trend that's going on in the world. It's called biophilic. And biophilic is kind of bringing the outdoors inside. It's kind of the feeling of.
That's what my dog does when she goes out to use the bathroom. She brings it out.
Yeah. She brings the bio. She's very biophilic.
Yeah. Yes, she is.
Prone to that. And when I think of biophilic, I think of greenery. I think of organic things. I think of wood. You think of leaves, organic materials. So in my hand here is an example of a biophilic porcelain.
Yeah.
One side.
Yeah, I grabbed one side.
It's getting late and getting tired here. So this is a 24 by 48, beautiful tile, very biophilic in feel and look. It is a porcelain, so it has no porosity, and many applications. Usually a feature wall.
Yeah.
Picture a lobby.
It's like art. Yeah, that is a piece that looks like art.
Well, we just finished yesterday BDNY Boutique Design New York, which was a show at the Jacob Javits Center here in Manhattan. And that show was phenomenal. Pretty much boutique hotels throughout the country come here. Wow. And I'll tell you, one of our biggest, hottest things were a line like this that's called artwork.
I thought you were going to say the Monet.
Yeah, well, the Monet, we talked about that in our shows.
Yeah.
But then Paula Poren, I think I'm saying her name right, she's one of our new designers at Tile Bar. And she designed this, oh my God, phenomenal. Wow. Phenomenal.
I don't get invited to nice bougie stuff like that. They leave me to go take care of the trash.
Yeah. So Craig is on a need to know basis.
That's right. That's right.
And we're doing really well. We need to lock you up in the lab just to keep things going.
Right. That's right.
You know?
Gotta keep the training information coming out.
Exactly. So talk about another category of product. It's interesting because tile used to look like tile. Yeah. I mean, like back in the day, what size tile was the most popular?
Probably 6x6.
6x6, 4x4.
4x4 was wall tile.
So if you go on a public school or an old government building that has tiles from the 50s or 60s, the walls are usually 4-inch, 4 1/4, 4 3/8.
Right.
Wall, ceramic tile, probably a green or a peach or a black, right, or blue or pink. And the floors were probably either a 6-inch square or mosaic. Yeah, some sort of. Those mosaics were like the original porcelains kind of, weren't they?
They were, yeah. Most of them were made in Pennsylvania, and I can't think of the name of the company, but Downtown bought them.
So
before Windburn. Windburn was the competitor, but yes, you're getting close.
Yeah.
It's the name of the town that the plant is in, and I can't think of it.
See, I'm thinking of Quakertown because that's where Quarry was made. So speaking of towns in Pennsylvania, there is a town called Quakertown, and American only had a plant there. It was Roy red clay. It was abundant in the area.
So that's where they made their
quarry tiles, 6-inch quarry tiles, and then not that far from there was Lansdale, Pennsylvania. That's where they made the 4 1/4-inch glazed wall tile for American Only. The factory I was there in the 80s doing training.
Yeah.
And the factory was like, I think 3 football fields long. It was just amazing. So the reason I mentioned ceramic tile used to look like ceramic tile, just plain. Now it looks like anything but tile.
Anything you want.
And one of those things it can look like is wood, right?
Yes.
So hot category, right? Wood grain porcelain, as we call
I
it.
keep thinking this is going to go out of style, but it doesn't.
You know what? There was a day when the industry came up with the concept of making a tile look like wood, and it wasn't accepted.
It was terrible because it was like 6-inch by 24-inch was, and that was it. And
it just didn't look like wood. The faces weren't that many faces to it.
Right.
And not only that, people weren't ready for it. And I have been in the tile industry my entire life, and I remember in my business we were the first people in New York to bring in a wood porcelain tile. It flopped.
Really?
It flopped. We had to put it on sale because people weren't ready to well, if I want wood, I'm going to buy wood. Yeah. But because of it wasn't really accepted yet, and part of the reason it wasn't accepted because it looked fake. It didn't
Right.
work.
It didn't.
So now here we have long planks. We have many different markings. We have
Many different phases.
Yes, you learned something today.
I learned something.
And
Now, what is the other thing that
well, so yeah,
we don't want to leave out?
So there's another product that now looks like wood.
Yeah. And I guarantee you went through the same thing. It wasn't accepted early on.
It did. So our luxury vinyl tile, there's probably other names for it.
Luxury vinyl plank.
LVP, LVT. I think we embraced LVT.
Yeah.
So this is a luxury vinyl tile. It's a plank of vinyl, and has its purpose, has its place in the industry.
Yeah.
And because of the technology advancements, it's very well accepted. So I guess the predecessor to this was like, I don't know, sheet of linoleum.
Yeah. Sheet goods. Yeah.
That you roll out that looks like just linoleum.
Yeah.
Right. And so now you get planks where you do have like not a ground joint, but you do see there's individual tiles,
Yeah.
so it can mimic.
It looks like wood.
It does.
And even has texture on it, like
Yeah. This is a lot of texture.
yeah. I like.
What do you think some of the advantages are using LVT
Well-
versus porcelain?
LVT versus the porcelain. There's a couple of different things though. The labor cost is a lot less, and I'll say for what you're getting a great material that is very durable for most applications, and it's very economical. That what they're producing now is a good product.
Yeah, it really is. And one of the other benefits of it is we alluded to this in a recent episode of the Tile Happy Hour. Remember to like us, to follow us, hit the little reminder button on
Absolutely.
YouTube, right?
YouTube, TikTok, wherever.
Yeah, share it, ask a question, comment. But we did talk about this recently, and one of the advantages is maybe you're doing a renovation that you don't want to last forever.
Right. Yeah, you want to tear it up. It's
10 years from now, you want to change a commercial restaurant or a store, retail store. They may want to change up their mood, their feeling, or the style may change. And have porcelain down is great, but if you want to rip it up, it's a bigger investment to rip it up. So some people don't want the longevity. LVT will last forever to some degree, but the performance, over decades, not like porcelain. But if you want to really, and it's also you're not investing incredible amount of money in the LVT, so you can afford to replace it, more often.
And it's a good media. It's a good in between carpet and tile.
Yeah, listen, go to a hotel these days. There's very little rooms with carpet.
Yeah.
You remember going to these hotel rooms that are dingy floors, that are dirty, that had spills, that cigarette, people would get smoke in the room, cigarette holes, and now LVT.
Where did you stay as a kid?
Mirrored ceilings, beds that turn.
Beds, vibrate.
So in those scenarios, LVT is better. Also, there's something about dust mites, right? Like carpet or
it just holds
dust that comes up. So even some upscale hotels are using LVT a lot, but it doesn't have to look like wood.
No.
So we have LVT, and being a tile company at heart, in our origins, this is just like travertine, right? This is just like natural stone. So what we do here at Tile Bar is, we're a tile company, and when I say tile, I mean porcelain, ceramic, designing and manufacturing LVT. So our designs are leap years ahead of the traditional LVT manufacturers because they just been pumping out LVT and trying to come up with a nicer LVT. We're taking super high-end, beautiful porcelains and saying, let's make an LVT that looks just like that.
Yeah, and there's so many applications for that. You got this beautiful tile in your lobby of your hotel, but maybe your budget doesn't allow you to do that for the 20 stories up. So you match your porcelain tile to this LVT, and you can do all your floors, and it has a cohesive design to it. those are the things that makes Tile Bar different than other flooring companies. We're thinking about the budgets, and we want to be able to satisfy the design and not sacrifice design for a different material.
It's very true. Talking about a different material, we touched on glass briefly before. So these are two stock items that are glass, but they're really made completely differently. This type of glass is like a cold glass, and it's kind of back painted and has like the kind of foil look, right? We see
Yeah.
It has dimension too. Well, not to the touch.
Right.
It's very deceiving.
It's dimension made into the glass.
Right. So you see, I'm feeling that it's all flat. So
But it looks like a trapezoid.
it does, or
Polygon.
So this is a what I would say would be like a cold glass process. Backing is coated with color, and it has a little shimmer. There's a little depth inside. Glass, yes, but completely different from this glass. Why is it different? This is a hot glass, and this is a like a stained glass material that's rolled on a belt. Huge. One big piece of glass, and then it's cut, and then it cut into the sizes. This is beautiful. This is actually Elizabeth Sutton's new line called Meta, and we just launched this at BDNY. Phenomenal. It's already winning some awards. Beautiful material. I mean, just
It would have won more awards if I was there.
yeah. Craig was modeling this. It would have won best.
It's a really neat glass tile and come full circle. You know, we're going to talk about glass tile tomorrow.
Yeah, we're really looking forward to it. So we want to know if there is something here that people like. Let us know what you like. If you have a question about a different category, things that we didn't cover were different shapes like hexagons. And, you know,
There's all around this room. There's so many different things we could.
there's 6,009.
Our podcast would be 17 hours long. It'd be, what do you call it? A telethon.
Exactly. Yeah.
A telethon. We'd have to have acts come in and people bring us more. But I love being here. It's been awesome just being able to do the show live together with you. Our batteries didn't die.
Well, yeah, we did well. Welcome back to New York, my hometown, lifelong New Yorker, and glad that you're here. We're able to share the showrooms, share all the different staff that's here that you don't get to see live in person all the time. And if you're anywhere near our showrooms, and guess what? A lot more showrooms to come in the U.S. in the future. Tile Bar, you heard it here first. Really a lot of exciting news. We're expanding our warehouses. We're expanding our showroom footprint. We have staff like myself who services the architectural design community, the builder, developer.
All across the nation.
Every state we have coverage. We have boots on the ground everywhere. We have teams across the country to help people select tile, help them answer questions, solve problems, and we really want to be your resource. We really want to help you find the right tile for the right project in budget and on time. That's really what we do.
I couldn't have said it better myself.
So again, the Tile Happy Hour, Craig Cahoon, John Tedisco, we're here. Love to see you. We're going to be back next week, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, we actually have a pretty cool topic. Check our socials coming up in the next week. We're going to have something really interesting to talk about. Tuesday nights, 8 p.m. We have a lot of exciting things to come. And then we're already lining up a whole slew of guests that are coming on next year that we really were going to bring on early on, but we're just have so much content we want to talk to you, and we just want to hog the time.
That's right.
For ourselves.
We haven't run out of things to say.
Yeah, it is. So I'd like to once again welcome everybody to our show. First time watcher, hello. If you're a long time listener, thank you very much. Share us, like us. This is John Tedisco. I'd like to wish you peace, health, and happiness.
And this is Craig from down south, but moving up north today. I'm excited about being here with John today. And I'm going to go to the hotel and take some NyQuil because I am going down pretty fast. But don't forget, let's keep learning together and tile the world. And I'm used to sitting at my desk while doing this. So I got to find the computer and hey, have a good night. End.